given situation. Yes, okay. Number 2 is identify the sensitive. Now look at this word sensitive. Sense, sensation, sensual, sensing, body, physical, okay? Identify the sensitive areas of your personality. Personal, persona, okay? Linguistics are very important in dialogue with spirit because words mean much more than how we're using them today. And if you have a dictionary with etymological origins in it, there are very important words. The word worry, for instance. The word worry comes from what a dog does to a bone. A dog worries it and worries it and worries and worries it, withers it away, right, until it's gone. Worries a bone. When you worry, you can worry yourself away if you don't turn that worry into work. So you'll keep working it and working it and working it. What you need to do is turn it into something you can do so that that worry isn't withering you away. So that's one way in which an etymology of the word is very helpful. So identifying the sensitive areas of your personality. When you express yourself in an argument in an overt manner, you are expressing intense feelings. These intense feelings are a personal way of protecting something. When you are intense and in an overt conversation, then you're protecting something. If you can stop for a moment in a heated discussion and just look at what the other person is saying as if they are making a direct attack on you, you can figure out what's being attacked within you. And what you'll find out is that it's rarely anything they are actually saying. And it's often something that's something in you that's holding you back from the success of your goals. So let's talk about arguments with a spouse, because this is a member of your family. This is someone you've chosen to be, with you through thick or thin. And they are the source of some of our worst arguments. As a married woman, I know that. But also your lover, your boyfriend, your girlfriend can also cause these intense feelings in you. So when your spouse is making you angry, do you find yourself in tears or in rage? Hi, come on in. Come in and have a seat.
Tears of rage.
Or tears of rage, right. And how do you make yourself feel better in that argument? Do you caress them or do you make them the enemy? If you make them the enemy, it's a really good indication about what's holding you back. Because this is a member of the family. And if you're making a member of the family an enemy, that's a really good indication of something desperate is holding you back. So now I would like to pick a volunteer if they're willing. And God didn't give me any more information than that. So I'm going to pick someone and see if they're willing. Diane. You kind of knew it was you, didn't you? You did. Because I just saw that look on your face and like, oh, don't pick me. Kind of. All right. So I don't know what God has in mind here, so I'm just going to jump in, okay? So God says, you have something powerful working on you right now. And it is so powerful, you have a hard time knowing whether you're the one creating the problem or if this other person is creating the problem. It's not someone you're going to think about right away, but now you have an idea. And in that, we want you to imagine yourself in a conversation with this person. And in this conversation, you read in their eyes a dark force. This dark force is working its way against you always. Do you know who we're talking about?
I think so.
Okay. In that dark force, you are focused on the wrong things, not because of them, but because of a past life experience. Are you ready to hear what that past life experience is? Okay. God says that in a past life, you became a very troubled conditioner of environments. In other words, you prepared environments for other people to be worked. To be worked over? Yes, to be worked over. These people were always doing things that put them in a situation where they were being punished severely. Your job was to prepare that environment for punishment. It became so troubling for you, you began to worry that you might actually be the one causing the punishment because you made it easy for the punisher to do their job. So you started to make it harder for them. You began to fiddle with things that made you collect time so that there was less punishment over that period of time. So if we could describe what that means. What that means is your mind was such that you knew this was not right. You knew deep down this couldn't be the way that life is supposed to be. But because you were being paid to do this, and you were really good at it, you were good at fashioning things. I'm picturing in my mind, God corrects me if this is wrong, but like a stockade with locks and hinges and things, where somebody is being held this way. Yes, this was just one of the many punishment gadgets you would make. But in this conflict between these amazing hands you had and this amazing mind to create things with your hands, you didn't know how to change what you did for a living and still be able to feed your family. So the conflict began with you on deciding what to do with your hands in a way that earned you a living and in a way that made you feel better about yourself. So how does that relate to today? Today, what you're holding on to is, why is it everyone who is in your life has to constantly know what it is you're doing all the time? People want to know what you're doing all the time. And in that sense, you feel as if they are looking at you in a way that is judgmental. So they are judging you in your mind when they want to know what you're doing when. So when you hold on to this in your heart, right here is where I'm feeling it from you. When you hold on to that, you start to surrender to a sense of, oh, well, I don't have any control over this anyway. You just kind of let go and give up. But if you start to see that the only reason they want to know where you are all the time is because they need your attention, not because they have some judgment about what you're doing, but because they love your time, they love what time you can give them, and they don't want to interrupt you with what you're doing to make time for themselves in your life, then you'll start to see them as someone who really loves you, someone who cares about you and always wants to be around you. They don't want to interfere with what you're doing. What they want to do is you to be okay with the time that you spend with them. Does this make sense to you?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So if you imagine now that there is a question you might want to ask in regard to this, what would that question be?
I guess, how can I let go of that kind of negativity?
Yeah. So what this is just a self-image that you're carrying over from a past life. Now that you know that this is where this past life feeling comes from, and you know that you are forgiven for the things that you did in that life that caused you so much inner turmoil, and that this isn't the life that you are now, you are something completely different. As you recognize your present life more and more, and every time you get that feeling from this individual who's just asking where you are and what you're doing, and know that they're saying it because they love you, then you're going to let go and let go and let go. But you have to know in your mind where you are at this present moment, and know that that feeling is from a previous life.
The recently released book, What to Do When You're Dead, a former atheist interviews the source of infinite being, is a fascinating dialogue between the creator of the universe and the author, Sondra Sneed, who has been in her life to hell and back. Imagine finding out that you may hold the secret to man's survival, and that your work is already recorded in the book of life. Well, it's happened to Sondra Sneed, and you get a front row seat to the life of a reluctant messenger, bringing forth a message that could save humankind. Human beings are willing to listen. Join Sondra Sneed as she takes you on a journey of what to do when you're dead at sondrasneed.com. That's SONDRASNEED.com.